Hello, VC and whoever's watching. So it's a time of the year where all the Vinyl Tech 2025 videos pop up on YouTube, and I thought I'd try to. It's always a very nice tradition to go through your Vinyl Connect collection with some random questions that you're not really prepared for. And so with that, I picked up the questions from Noble Records. I think as most people do. Just as usual, fantastic stack of questions, and I will put the questions in the description. And yeah, just let's get started. The best purchase of 2024, new or old? So the best one is In the Court of the Crimson King by King Crimson. This is the original UK Pink Island label recording. So this is the best purchase in many ways. Like deal wise, it was fantastic. I bought it in a collection. I was able to resell a big stock from the collection for the same price that I paid for the collection itself. So I got this one for free, and actually just 1 week before I bought the collection, I was checking eBay for good deals to find this record, and just to get it like a few days later in great condition for free was just fantastic. And of course, it's one of the best albums for me personal ever recorded. Like the beginning of prog rock. Fantastic sound, unique sound. Greg Lake on vocals, just overall a fantastic, perfect album for me personal, and the best purchase last year. 50 years later, best album from 1974. So I picked up Hurtis Rich. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. This is Mike Oldfield. Comes on the Virgin label. Actually, I think all of the first four Mike Oldfield albums are just fantastic. If you're into prog, they're mostly just separated into song title part 1 and part 2. So you have one side of Hurtis Rich part 1 and Hurtis Rich part 2, and they just sound fantastic. I think like Tubular Bells and Armageddon, they're more popular, but as I said, all of his first four albums, studio albums, are just like it's really great stuff, especially if you're into prog. And also I found out, I think it's called Amarok, it's from the 90s, 1990. Great album too. It just returned, came back to those one LP side filling songs and arrangements, and it's just great. So number 3, an album that defines a genre. For this one, I picked Music from Big Pink by the band. This is the original US pressing on Capitol in pristine condition. I also bought it last year, so kind of reminds me of the trips I did last year. I bought this in Berlin. Yeah, what to say about this album? The band, or just in general, is just fantastic. I think their albums, especially the first 3 ones, this is just pure music. Like this is the pure distillation of it. There's nothing you can add or no space in between the songs or in the songs itself. It's just perfect the way it is, and I think the genre they define with that, which is still huge days, Americana. So it's a wild mix of blues, of country, of a little bit of jazz, folk music. It all comes together, and also back then they had a huge influence. You have to remember they were like a really small band. They played for Ronnie Hawkins as the Hawks, so this was at the early days of rock and roll. Then they played for Dylan as the hired gun, as the band in the background on his tour, and no one really knew them. And from like nothing, they just released this album after just hours and days of jamming and playing together. And after that, I think the whole world changed, or the music world changed a little bit. Like Eric Clapton, it said that he left Cream after he listened to this because he felt like, what is it all about? Like all this endless jamming and psychedelic stuff. This is actually what he is looking for. So to me, the pure essence of American music. Yeah. The next question, best band from your home country. I think it's very difficult. I don't consider this to be the best, one of the best for sure. And the record I haven't shown you yet, just bought it a few weeks ago. I will show it in my next haul. So just a quick one. This is called Geronimo, Cosmic Blues. on the original Bellephone label. So this is a German band. They play mostly hard rock blues or very hard blues rock. On this album, they had a hit, or at least I think a small hit, "Na Na Na Hey Hey," just fantastic cover. And yeah, I don't know, it's a German band trying to sound like a little bit like American English bands from that era, but in the end they also created their own sound. So this would be my pickup for Germany. Yeah, an artist you miss dearly. Okay, so this one is Rick Danko. He played as bassist and singer in the band, and as you can imagine, I just or from the uh, question before, I just love the band. I love this music, and what he did on this record is he just kind of continued with that sound. So it's pretty much like handmade music, a few instruments, a few friends coming together, making just great music, having a good time. And I watch a lot of interviews, live performances, and Rick Danko just seems to be like a very nice and humble guy, just great to hang out. So I would say Rick Danko, that's the one that I miss dearly, though I never met him. Um, Best live album in your collection. So I think this is also a tricky question. Like there are some obvious choices. For example, Made in Japan is just fantastic, great live performance. I love the Pink Floyd Live at Pompeii album. Actually, this was the one I picked up first. Just to sum it up, I think this question can, or the answer to that question can differ depending on what day you're asked. But today, I decided to pick up Solar Music Live by Grobschnitt, a German band as well. Um, I think this can be considered to be krautrock in like the meaning of the term krautrock. This is a German band playing rock music, very progressive with a lot of funny German how you say it uh, announcements in between the songs and funny comments. Still also just fantastic sound, fantastic songs, scholar music. And the funny thing is, I think they mixed up like 20 or 30 different shows to get this record together. So I also think this is like the official version of scholar music. But it's more like different pieces uh, getting put together as one song, but they performed all those pieces live. So still, I consider this to be a live record and definitely one that you don't hear every day. The next question: your partner just dumped you. What album are you putting on? So I don't say that I already did that, but my first shot would be After the Gold Rush by Neil Young. And I don't know, it's there's a lot of melancholy in these songs. I think if you're really down, because you just finished a relationship or something, there's some great songs that you can get into and where you can lose yourself. Like Tell Me Why, Only Love Can Break Your Heart. I think, oh yeah, I just think this one is just enough, and you just can get really into your pain and your sadness. And my dad used to say, if you're really down, listen to Neil Young, and then it's getting even worse. I think he talked about Harvest, but definitely the same to me for After the Gold Rush. So that's for that. Best sounding drums on an album. This was difficult. I wasn't sure, like, is this question meant like drum wise or no, like sound wise? So the drums are very in front or sound very pregnant, or no, not pregnant, sound very strong or something like that, or is it drum wise? And I think I decided to mix the answers together. So this is Morrison Tell by The Doors, and to me, John Densmore, just like technically spoken, he's an insane drummer. He plays fantastic. He plays patterns I could never ever just consider playing. But he plays it so easy listening, and it sounds just so simple, but it's perfect within the context of these songs. And still, also the sound is fantastic. So just to pick up Land Ho, sounds fantastic. Peace Rock and Waiting for the Sun, just fantastic drum work. Also, I think like one of the best examples is just Break On Through. Um, like the intro that he's playing on the right back and then the tom toms. So either spoken, sound wise and technique wise, this would be my best sounding drum album. Um, Favorite artist who's a member of two or more bands. Also a bit tricky. For this one, I picked just because I listened to his to the band this morning. This came up to my mind. I chose Steve Marriott. So he played in Small Faces. Actually, he was a founding member. That's him. This is the reunion record, reunion album from the 70s, 78, I think, 77, maybe something like this. And after he left the Small Faces, like the first time, he played in a band called Humble Pie. And why I love him so much is first thing, he's a fantastic singer. It's like insane. I think he can easily compete with Roger Daltrey with Robert Plant. Um, it's just amazing how much energy and how much effort he puts in his voice. And also, he's a fantastic guitar player. And this, in my eyes, comes out more on the Humble Pie records. But Steve Marriott is just an outstanding artist and maybe a bit overseen these days. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's that's the answer for that question for me. So the next one, Beatles or Stones? I think it's pretty tricky. I like both bands. Actually, to be fair, the Beatles first got me into classic music, classic rock music. So when I was in third class, I watched a video of Help on YouTube. Was a coincidence, and after that, um, I was hooked. Like from the first moment, I thought about this question a little bit. I also have to say that the Beatles were like the first band that got me to think about lyrics. Like I was just at fifth class and I was learning English for the first time, and I was like almost like at the end of almost every class, I ran to my teacher and was asking, "Yeah, what does that word mean? What does that sentence mean?" And it was the first time that I really thought about it. But over the years, I still appreciate the Beatles, and I definitely see what they did to the music business and music in general. But to me, these days, I have to say it's the Rolling Stones. Um, this is a live bootleg, Never Stop from 1982. So there are two reasons for that. Like in my eyes, the Stones have some albums I just can't listen to. I just not my cup of tea. But they have some fantastic albums, especially I think of from Beggar's Banquet till Goat's Head Soup. Those are just all killer, no filler records, like all of them. I like all of them. They just, yeah, perfect. And also like thinking about the music I listen to these days, like more blues oriented and a little bit of roots and folk country influence. I think the Stones just fit it more, but yeah, definitely a hard question. And also, I think they're just one of the best live acts ever, and definitely these days. So I just had a chance to see them once live, and although they were like I think it was like Mick Jagger was like almost 80 or Keith Richards had just turned 80, but still there was so much energy going on, and the fantastic thing about this band is whenever you listen to a live record, one show doesn't sound like the other, and they do it till this day, because there's so much improvisation and just yeah, just checking out the songs and trying new things, and that's something that I really appreciate. So to me, that's the Stones. Yeah. Number 11. So you found a bag of weed. What are you going to listen to? I don't say either that I tried it before, but I guess my pickup would be a blues record. For example, Lightning Hopkins. Um, yeah, maybe the thing is like maybe I've heard it or maybe I've even tried it. If you just smoked something or had an edible, stuff gets more intense. And when you listen to a blues record just to one guy playing an instrument, or maybe you have two guys, It's just playing the guitar and the bass, and it sounds. There's so much going on and so much stuff you can discover. Um, I think it's pretty intense and makes a lot of fun when you're a little bit baked. But as I said, it's just a guess. So number 12, an album from the 1980s used to listen to. So it was a bit tough. I don't like the 80s that much, but definitely a classic, The Blues Brothers. This is a soundtrack from the movie. I can recommend. There are other studio records like Made in America and um, is the other one just called Blues Brothers Amateur? So I love the movie. I love the soundtrack. Just considering who played on this record, just Steve Cropper, Donald Duck Dunn, Tom Malone, Lou Marini, Alan Rubin. There's so many fantastic musicians and high profile musicians, and this is just a Blues Brothers band. So you also have like appearances from John Lee Hooker, from Aretha Franklin, Ray Charles, and it's a great connection to the music from the 40s, 50s, and maybe early 60s to the 80s. So, and I think a big reason for the revival of these artists in the 1980s. And it sounds just fresh. It's not like an 80s sound of those old blues and soul standards. It's quite authentic, and even Cap Calloway. I mean, Minnie DiMucci. I think it's just fantastic version. I've heard that Cap Calloway insisted on doing like a more modern and popped up version of that, but Dan Aykroyd stayed strong and said, no, we want to sound the Chicago sound or the blues sound, the soul sound from the 60s, from the 50s. And still, they managed to let it sound modern for its times, but it still got its unique core that stuck to those songs. So this would be my pickup from the 1980s. An artist whose political stance has soured you. This is a bit tricky. I don't want to talk about it too much. I think this is more about vinyl and not so much about politics, the whole hobby and the whole channel. So just pick one, a quick one. The Birds. I've read an interview a few years ago that Chris Hillman is like really, really into Donald Trump. Um, as a German, as a European, I can't see the point why he's so much into this guy and his political program, but that's the one thing. And sour, maybe it might be a big word. Um, I would like to talk to him about it or have a discussion or whatever, but yeah, I'm not so much a big fan of Donald Trump. So the next one, show favorite record label. I think this is pretty tough. I picked up the Atlantic label. This is the original version of, or this is the original German pressing of Crosby, Stills and Nash. There are two reasons for that why I picked this one. First, they had fantastic artists on Atlantic, Crosby, Stills and Nash. Led Zeppelin, so many soul bands, Aretha Franklin. I don't know, like many huge artists. It was like one of the first labels that really put the artist in the center and gave I think fair share of the credits and all that. So they did a lot of to the music industry in the 60s and 70s. And the other reason why I like it so much is um, even if you have like a VG Plus or maybe even a VG copy from Atlantic, at least from the early days, it still sounds fantastic. I don't know why, but the pressing, they have such a high quality that I consider to buy records that might not look that great, but still you can give it a try. And mostly they sound great. Like first, when I read the question, I thought about, okay, the Pink Island label, great artist, like fantastic mix, but even I think that's the other way around. When the vinyl looks just great and like almost near mint, there's still a lot of sound and cracklings going on. So I pick Atlantic, like quality wise, talking about the vinyl, and music wise, talking about the music. All right, a run of three great singles. So I think as most people in the VC these days that I don't have that much singles. Just a quick one. 10 years after, I'm coming on. I picked up this one. I got like the three members that are still alive to sign it, and I think I'm coming on is just the best single by the band. The next one, Life is for Living by Barclay James Harvest. This is as well signed. That's actually the reason why I kept it. And it's a great pop song, actually, so check it out. And Hare Krishna Mantra by the Radha Krishna Temple. This is on Apple. This is not signed. I kept it because I can still remember the place I bought it, the time I bought it. I think it's a very great song and a fantastic mantra. If you also like check out Wikipedia, what does it actually mean? And if you start to get a little bit into it, it's just a really interesting thing, and it gets you to other cultures, other religions. So check it out, Hare Krishna Mantra. What's it? You can be reincarnated as any artist, dead or alive. Oh no, sorry, number 16. Records so they purchase that you actually consistently listen to. To be honest, I never bought RSD album. I'm not so much into new records or new releases, remastering, remixes. So I'm out on this one. Number 17. You can be reincarnated as any artist, dead or alive. Who is it going to be? I think it's pretty tough too, because I'm very, very happy about my life. I wouldn't like to change. If I have to answer the question, I think it would be Graham Nash. He seems like a very, very humble guy. He went through a lot of things. I just recently read his autobiography. He was like at the early beginnings of blues and beat and pop music in the UK. He was back then at the end of 60s, like when political music was getting more and more important, when folk music, psychedelic music got bigger and bigger. So he was like in the Laurel Canyon scene. He recorded fantastic albums. He wrote fantastic songs. Our House will always be like one of my all-time favorite songs. And also, just when you read the autobiography, it seemed like there were tough times and very hard times, but it seems like he never really just was really at the bottom. So like other artists, like his companion David Crosby, who had a really, really bad and heavy drug addiction. I think he went through so much pain and ugly stuff. And I think that's like for many artists in the music scene. So I would pick up Graham Nash. Seems like a very nice guy. I just watched the show 2 years ago. Fantastic. Like till today, he's a fantastic voice, fantastic artist, fantastic performer, and also a very nice human being. So Graham Nash. That's for this question. Next one, the best 3 lines in a song. For this one, I pick up Wednesday Morning 3 a.m. This is the first album by Simon & Garfunkel. The album is called that way, and also the song, the title track, will be my pickup on this. It's just a really nice, fantastic, nice love story about a guy who committed a crime. He's lying right next to his girl. He knows he has to leave in the early morning hour because people will look after him, or police will look after him. But he's just at the moment, like when the song is taking place, he's just lying right next to her and thinking about her and how much he's gonna miss her. So just the whole song, fantastic. Wednesday Morning 3 a.m. And number 19, an album you're never tired of. This is Joe Hisaishi, a symphonic celebration, music from Studio Ghibli films of Hayao Miyazaki. If you're not familiar with Studio Ghibli, it's a Japanese film studio, started I think like in the 80s. I just love those movies. They really had a huge influence on me till today, and the soundtrack is of every single song is just over the top. It's just fantastic. Also last year I had a chance to see him live. He was performing with the Munich Symphonic Orchestra in Munich. It was just one of the best live experience I ever had. And also, like, I think 2 days before the show I had a chance to meet him. to get this signed. So this just sums it up. And I'm never tired of the music of the Studio Ghibli films. Like also at work, I just can always listen to it. Yeah. So this is for that question. And number 20, share your favorite VC channel. I will put it in the description, the link. It's called Vinyl Army. It's a really nice guy. He's mostly talking about Kiss albums and records. I'm really not a big Kiss fan, but he's doing it with so much enthusiasm and so much joy. And he bought a fantastic record collection this last year. And as I said, although I'm not really into into those records, I just enjoyed watching every single video. Because he was so happy about every record he bought, and just about the collection. And I just really like the guy. Like when it pops up on YouTube, new video available, I just always watch it instantly. So that's it for the Vinyl Tag 2025. I hope you enjoyed it. I will make a new video soon about the latest records I bought. Maybe see you then too. Bye.